Hey everybody, William Padilla Brown here, and we are at the Lemoyne Garden. This is part of the Garden Collective garden web that we have going on, where we grow different crops at on different properties in the local area, and share those crops between the people that are participating, so that we have a large diversity of food and enough of each of the individual crops that we can sustain each other. So. And then we each get more food than we would have if we were gardening ourselves. Amount of food and diversity, as I said. So we're looking at a noir purple cabbage, which we have growing all the way up this hill here. Yeah, so it seems to be doing very good. It's been growing very fast, and looks like we're going to get some nice harvest off that this year. Before I go off that direction, I'd like to come up onto the porch where the potatoes are, and they're doing well. We weren't able to add as much soil on some of these as we would have liked, but we did get to put some more soil on some of them, and they've already flowered. Some of them are starting to die back a little bit, so we'll probably have a potato harvest here sooner than later. So over here, it's the big potato. The big potato containment, and we could have added more soil on here. It's just been a very busy year. And a lot of this was experimenting. We haven't done anything on this property yet. We're just seeing what kind of things we can do. So we're still going to get a very nice yield of potatoes off of here, but it looks like we could have even got a bigger yield. So we're definitely going to be playing around with this again. So as we go back down, we have muskmelons across the top of this hill, and they're actually starting to grow down the hill. So throughout the rest of the season, they'll probably make it the whole way down the hill, and we're just going to get loads and loads of cantaloupe just growing off of these plants. There's a few different varieties here. I'm not sure if they're labeled. Kurt, the owner of this property, actually put these in, so I'm not entirely sure which varieties there are. So there's another one there as well, and I'm hoping that this one will grow out and be a ground cover for this painted hill corn. So this is the painted hill corn from Botanical Interest. It's shooting out tassels, and it's a little bit small. We did put this in a little bit later in the spring. I would have liked to put it in a little bit earlier. Either way, it's going to be okay. And we have some Blue Lake. I think it's like FM1K or something. It's a Blue Lake white bean from Botanical Interest as well, which is going to be using the corn as a pole. So we're going to have a type of three sisters going on. If this muskmelon doesn't look like within the next week or so, if this muskmelon doesn't look like it's going to come out through here, or if this one, I mean, I'm sure it will, but I might put a watermelon or something over there and have it grow through to make sure we have a nice ground cover, because as you can hear as I walk across these leaves, they're very dry. But having this leaf mulch here is very beneficial for a lot of reasons. Every fall, Kurt, the owner of this property, he collects the leaf mulch of the local area, the local neighborhood, and puts it up on his hill here. So there's a couple years worth of organic material here, which is adding nutrients into the soil, so we don't have to worry about fertilizing so much. But Kurt has been adding a fair amount of organic amendments, so we're going to get some really nice harvests. But this leaf mulch here will keep our melons from getting super dirty. We'll keep them in a nice pristine form. So lots of melons, and hopefully we'll get that ground cover, just like I was saying, how our three sisters going. So this is the painted hill corn from Botanical Interest. All of these are the painted hill, and the Blue Lake white bean. So this will just continue to grow. It'll start to grow up the corn stalk, using the corn stalk as a pole. And here we have a few peppers that I rescued. They were just like stressed out in these little containers, and I put those in like last week, and they're starting to green back up and do good, and there's a little basil there, and a little sage. So we'll have a fair amount of peppers should be harvested from this little patch here. So this is the big compost pile where he's been adding loads of yard waste from the local neighborhood and from his yard, and we've been utilizing this to amend the area where we've been adding, well, Kurt's been adding more corn patches. So there's 4 more corn patches that he added, utilizing this compost here to amend it. And as the corn gets established, I went ahead and put some Kentucky Wonder pole beans in. So we have these pole beans that are growing up at a perfect time with this corn to start utilizing the corn as its pole. And this is a sweet corn. I'm not sure exactly what the species is on this, but it's a sugary enhanced sweet corn. So, and I think this whole patch is sugary enhanced sweet corn. So we should get a very, very nice harvest of corn and beans. And the beans are fixing atmospheric nitrogen. So they're taking nitrogen that's in a gaseous form in the air, and through little bacterial nodules on their roots, they're putting that nitrogen into the soil, and it becomes accessible to the corn. So there's a little bit more nitrogen in this area, keep our corn a little bit green, keep everything growing a little bit more healthy. So we did plant in this whole area, but for some reason that row of corn didn't come out. It might have been because of the intense amount of water coming off from these drains. I'm not sure. I think that might be why those are doing so well, receiving that water. Other than that, these are the corn patches out front. So I'll go around and we'll check out what's been going back here. So the back here has been a little less managed. I've been very busy, and we're working on getting some more people involved. Oh, I always have to smell the verbena. The lemon verbena smells so good. So this is the herb garden. We have some French sorrel, some I think there's oregano, and oh, look, a little beetle. And yeah, we have all of our herbs, some cilantro, some lavender. We have one little lavender, some sage, some basil, some chives. And we have some petunias here. This is where we're going to do our asparagus next year. We're going to put an asparagus patch in. So that's going to be our long-term investment. So from where that herb patch is to all the way over here, well, from where that herb patch is to all the way down across to the end where that burdock plant is going to be all asparagus. And that's 3 years down the line, we're going to be very happy people. So here we have a Murasaki sweet potato. I don't want to step on this ground too much because the sweet potatoes are going to be growing down here. And then we have another sweet potato here, which I'm not sure the exact species on this one. And then some kind of bean. I don't remember what I put here. Bush bean, some type of bush bean. And then all of the wild peas are doing excellent, providing lots of food for these insects. We get to see lots of butterflies and bees and such. The nettle's still in there. It's doing all right. Seems to be a little bit happy with the more naturalized environment, things growing around it and such, rather than being all open and exposed. But yeah, it's so beautiful to be out here, and this wild pea plant has been such a beneficial plant throughout the year. We started eating the pea shoots, and it just topped it, and it multiplied and put out a bunch more shoots, which we sold at market and ate a lot of in our salads and cooked them in our stir fries. And now it's putting out these wonderful flowers, which are also edible. So we've been eating the flowers, and then it's going to put out some peas. And the peas on the wild peas, the pea pods are actually the least desirable part of the wild pea, but we'll take this seed and propagate it elsewhere because this plant is so beneficial. And it also is fixing atmospheric nitrogen into the ground like the other beans. So up here we have some of the kales that survived the gauntlet of slugs. We have some lamb's quarters, the Chenopodium album, doing well over there. I'm going to let that grow out to seed. I topped it a few times and utilized the tops in salads, so it's going to put out a bunch more seed heads. And we utilize those seeds like quinoa. And then we have our peanuts here. So we have one peanut, and then the other peanut got pretty damaged by a groundhog. And then there's some tomatoes that I need to plant over there and remove some of this nightshade. Remove some of this nightshade, put another nightshade in. And then our onions. The onions didn't seem to do too well with the wood chip compost, but you live and you learn, right? So we got a lot of weeding to do. Come through here. And we have our collard greens. Yeah, so I need to weed out some of the stuff around these collard greens. But they're doing good, and we'll get some nice harvest off them this year. And then we have our peppers. And these are mostly bell peppers, and there's some tomatoes that came out through in the earthworm cast. So I have these same tomatoes at my house too, coming up in the earthworm cast. Yeah, so we got a few peppers in here. These are all bell peppers. They're doing well. And then we have a large, I think there's 3 cucumber plants here. I know there's at least 2. And then we have a, forgot what flower this is. Does it have a label? I'm not sure. I'll remember later on. Alright guys, well that's pretty much it for this garden video update. There's a lot of work to do. It's just been me and Kurt managing this garden, and I've been managing my garden as well as the mushroom micro farm and the laboratory, and maintaining curriculum and further workshops and things that I have to teach. So it's been very busy. We're trying to get more people involved. Our friend Chris Clement over in Lemoyne, who also has been helping me record some new music. He's a producer as well. He has a garden, and he hopped into our garden web. So we're going to be sharing some of our harvest with him, and he has his garden going, and he's going to be sharing some harvest with us. And he's already managing his garden, so we don't really need to be too involved with the work there, but we can share the harvest. So if you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you live in the area and want to take part in this, give me an email at apexgrower@gmail.com. It's the same as my YouTube channel name. Other than that, this has been William Padilla Brown. This is the Terrace Gardens on Kurt's property, and I hope everybody can take the opportunity to design something cool for their community. Have a great day.